I think at this point, I'm like out to get myself, honestly, because I keep making these challenges that just stress me out. Like, I made this build challenge, right? And I was like, ooh, fun, shell challenge, great times. No. No, this is very difficult, and I was very upset yesterday when I was trying to do it, but I think I figured it out. So I made a new shell challenge for you guys. If you don't know what that is, basically I built a box, like a shell of a house, for you guys to turn into a build of sorts. It's on my gallery, you can download it in a second if you want to. And then I tried to do my own challenge and discovered that it is indeed very difficult and frustrating. Who knew? Because clearly I want to suffer. So essentially, as you're seeing here, I just built a random box. Like, I kind of just put some random boxes places. I was trying to make difficult walls because the whole point of the challenge is that you can't change my walls. You have to take my existing shell and turn it into a build somehow using my walls and without moving any of them. You can add walls on the inside, but you can't change the exterior walls. And so I was trying to make it difficult. But in that effort to try and make it difficult, it appears that I have made it impossible. Which isn't necessarily true, but I was really struggling with my own challenge. So, you know, it'd be like that, I guess. But this is what we're working with. So I mentioned the rules a second ago, but I'll clarify them again for you because this is a shell challenge. So the whole point is to take my shell and turn it into a build. There's literally just one rule, and it's don't touch my walls. It's very simple. Just don't touch my walls. That means that you can rotate the lot, you can put it on a bigger lot, you can do whatever you want to the inside, you can add walls, you just can't take away walls. So for example, I have this weird little wall thing on the inside. You can't delete that. You can add to it, you could like turn it into a room if you wanted to, but you can't delete my existing walls. Same thing, you can't add walls on the outside, obviously, because the whole point is to keep my shell, so you couldn't be like, you know what? I want another room right here. No, you don't get that room. Don't touch my walls. So literally anything you can think of, sure, do it. Add a balcony, add some flooring outside. Look, I can put a porch right here, sure, I just can't add walls. So the answer to all of your questions, I know you're gonna be like, Kayla, can I do this? Can I put a gazebo? Sure, just don't add walls. It's really very simple. Don't touch my walls. We were streaming this yesterday. I kind of was building this house next door. No spoilers, but I built this using my challenge, and everyone was asking questions like, can I do this? Can I make a bathroom inside? Yeah, just don't touch my walls. So again, that means that you can't like, you know, make the house smaller because you have to keep my shell the same way. You couldn't, you know, like add on a room up here because you have to keep my walls the same. But of course, you can add anything on the inside. You could, you know, do the floor plan for the bedrooms or whatever. And it doesn't have to be a house. You can make a restaurant, a park, whatever. Do whatever you want, just don't touch my walls. And like I said, you can rotate it if you want to. Anything is fair game. Just keep the existing shell the same and then turn it into whatever you want. I'm doing like, I guess, a contest. Not really. There aren't gonna be winners per se, but I am gonna tour some of your builds when I'm done with this. So I'll give you a couple weeks. I think I'm gonna post that video on the 30th. So I guess the deadline's like the 27th. Okay? Give me a couple days to look at them. All you have to do to participate is post your finished build on the gallery with the hashtag #SimsieShell, and then I can look at them and stuff. Obviously, it's all gallery based. That's how I can like filter through them and see them all. I would recommend not using CC. Obviously, if you want to, go ahead, I don't care. But like, if you want me to tour the house, if it has CC, I can't see it because it's gonna not appear in my game. So if you want me to look at it, I probably wouldn't use CC. But if you want to just do it for fun, like by all means, I don't care what you do, just don't touch my walls. Don't touch my walls. I'm sure you understand the rules, right? But I love these challenges. I did one back a few months ago and it was so much fun and I wanted to do it again, so here we are, but this time it's worse. Particularly because of the way the roofing is. I did it when it was oriented like this, and my god, the roof is so frustrating because usually, I even say in my building tips videos, this house goes against all of Simsie's tips, okay? Especially because of how this second floor is. And it's this part right here that is the problem because all of my methods for roofing don't work on a house that's this shape. Because typically, if it looked like this is how I prefer it to be, right? I only want to have two walls that are different. I don't want to have this weird cutout because I like to roof the biggest pieces of a house. So like traditionally, I would roof this by having like this piece go like that, cover the biggest piece, and then have a smaller roof like right there, right? But obviously on a house that's this shape, that doesn't really work. And so I don't know how to roof this. It was very frustrating because like when you put roofing pieces like this, they just look odd. They don't fit into each other properly. Like, it's just, there's not a good way to do it with my methods. And it's incredibly frustrating. And so last night when I was building this house, I was like, oh my god, I hate myself. Why did I do this? Clearly, I just want to suffer. So best of luck to you all. There's a diagonal bit, you know, the roofing's gonna be weird. It's an odd shape. But I'm very curious to see what you do with it, because last time, I mean, people were doing crazy things with terrain manipulation and stuff. They were putting houses on hills. They made modern houses. They made alien houses, you know? There was just so much creativity going on. So I'm very curious to see what you do, because obviously it's just a box. So you can turn this into whatever sort of shell you want. I mean, it could be a Tudor house. It could be a modern house. Like, it could be really anything. It could be a museum. I mean, like, whatever you want. Just don't touch my walls. But anyway, I did do the challenge myself, so we're gonna hop into a speed build now and I'll show you what I came up with. I'm gonna be honest, looking at this again is giving me like secondhand stress from last night when I was trying to build it, because I cannot express to you how many different attempts it took for me to get a roof that I was happy with. Like, I tried like 4 different styles of houses. We're sitting on stream like, what if we did it like this? Like, could we get like a crazy modern like round shape roof? No. Can we do like this kind of suburban, or can we use these blue window? Like, I was trying all these different options and none of them were working. And then I settled on classic lilsimsie suburban, because I know nothing else and I can't build other styles of houses because all I ever do is make suburban houses. So here's my suburban house. Everybody, you're welcome. It ended up being yellow though, not blue. It is pretty blue on the inside, but it's yellow on the outside, so it's by definition not a blue suburban. If you guys don't know that reference, I used to build like this, I mean, I still do build the same house over and over and over again, and I did it even again today, but they're most of the time blue and this one's yellow. So it's not a blue suburban and it's fine. But I spent so long trying to make this house look good, and because the outside is so weird, kind of in the back, like, I did my roof the way I wanted to, but because it is overhanging, I made a balcony up there, and I like how it looks. I think it's a little bit odd, and so I tried to overcompensate by trying to fix the backyard a bunch, and so I made a really cool fenced-in patio area. Like, this is probably my favorite backyard I've ever done in my entire life. Like, I've built a lot of houses in The Sims. This is my favorite backyard area I've ever built. I'm so proud of myself for this one, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't mean to brag or anything, but like, I'm insane. I'm so good. I also use trees to cover my mistakes, because you'll see there are a lot of weird parts to this house, so I put trees in front of them to try and hide it, particularly the front yard a little bit. There's like a weird spot where there isn't many windows, and so I put a big tree to block it, and then I didn't like how the balcony looked from the side, and so I put a big tree to cover it. I just kept putting trees down. When in doubt, cover your mistakes with trees. It's the only way. And it works, but the whole backyard, it's got a pool, it's got a fire pit, it has a beautiful lounge chair area, it's got a table and chairs with a grill and everything. Like, it's got all you could possibly need for a wonderful, entertaining space. As far as, like, actual sim stuff goes, I don't know how often I would use these things, like, in my actual gameplay. Thinking about my Sims gameplay, probably wouldn't use it, but to be fair, I never have nice backyards, maybe that's why. But like, in real life, this would be so nice. Like, this is the dream outdoor space if you're talking about real life. Like, the pool and everything, all it needs is a hot tub and then you're set. So like, I don't know. It's pretty good. I mean, to be fair, if you've got kids, probably not. There isn't much like kid stuff out here, but there is a lot of other things, and the parents have their own master bedroom balcony that only they have access to. I mean, this house has a lot of nice features for, like, if it were real life, it would sell for so much money. Well, depending on the area it's in, and it's currently in an empty neighborhood in Newcrest, so like, not much around it, but whatever. The house turned out really cute, though. I was really proud of myself with the backyard. It's inspired me to do better with the backyards of my other houses in the future. And also, I made an open floor plan downstairs, which, if you guys know my builds, that's pretty big for me. I don't do that very often in my Sims builds, because I think that it's really hard to make, like, full-on open floor plans look really good in The Sims, because I think it's kind of hard to define living spaces that way. I think it works really well in real life. Can you speak better, Simsy? You would think for a person who talks for a living I would be better at this, but I'm not. However, in The Sims, I have a hard time trying to like define spaces because I think that oftentimes the rugs look really busy when they're close together. I think it's hard to make them look good when it's like fully open, so I usually have some level of separation between rooms with walls and like big archways and stuff. But this house, it's like a fully open floor plan. All the living space is one big room. Like the study area, the living room, dining room, and kitchen is all a big one room. It's kind of like rotated around the stairs. Like the stairs are kind of in the middle of it because this house has that weird wall that I had in the middle, so I ended up putting the stairs in the middle of those weird walls in the middle of my house because I think a lot of you guys might do this with that room because the shell has that like little sort of bump out looking thing in the middle of the build that has, you know, random walls that you can't change. So I put stairs there. I had a thing like that in my last shell challenge, but it was closed off. It was like a weird like 3x1 tile room, and a lot of people use that for stairs then, but I mean, I like to get creative with these things. I was a weenie generic stair user for this house, but like people made it into fish tanks, they made it into special like built-in fireplaces. I used it in my last shell challenge, that like 3x1 room, I made it into a laundry room. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with these rooms, and I'm really excited to see how you guys use the space, because obviously, like, we all have the same shell, but you're gonna be shocked when I make the video touring them to see how different all the houses are gonna end up being, because people are so talented with it and they're so good at making these cool builds. Like, it's gonna be awesome to see all the different changes we do with it, so I'm looking forward to it. Mine is lame. Yours won't be. Obviously, I mentioned that you can't add walls. Don't touch my walls. But you can add things on the outside of the build, so like don't add a room that's like touching the house. Like don't add a sunroom to the back of the house, you know? But if you wanted to put a greenhouse in the backyard, I don't care. It's not touching the actual house. You aren't like adding on to the actual shell, you know? You can put gazebos, you can do whatever, just don't touch the shell of the house, you know? Like, the rest of the lot is fair game, just don't touch the walls of my shell. That really, any answers to your questions about this are going to boil down to don't touch my walls, okay? I mentioned it a million times in the beginning of the video, but like, you can add whatever you want on the inside, you know? You could put indoor pools, you could delete floors, like, just don't change the walls. So you could have like an open, above the stairs, you can make it open if you wanted to. I don't care what you do. Just leave the walls of the shell the same, because that's the point of a shell challenge, that you have to keep the shell the way it is, right? So I think that makes sense, and I've clarified enough. But if you have questions, think to yourself, am I touching Simsie's walls? And if the answer is yes, then no, don't do it. But otherwise, like, again, I don't care what you do. Rotate it, move it, doesn't matter. Just don't touch the shell. Everything else is fair game. But anyway, I tried my best with the furnishing. I think it ended up being like very classic Simsie style with like a lot of beiges and blue tones, but I think this is very much like what I would like in real life if I was gonna like have a model home in real life to look at. This is a pretty like clean looking, nice family home, you know, that would be nice for anyone to live in. So I think that playing in this house would be so fun. It's got 4 bedrooms. There's 1 downstairs and then 3 upstairs. The master bedroom has its own ensuite bathroom and a balcony, and then there's 2 kids' rooms upstairs, and what I figured could be like a guest bedroom / teen room downstairs. You could also make it into like a home gym or whatever if you want to use it for, but I would like to play here personally. I think there's lots of space. And it costs like 96,000 simoleons, so like, it's a little bit expensive, but it's fine. It's fine. I just picture myself, if I was playing in this house, I would have like grandma living in the room downstairs, and like myself and my 2 kids living upstairs, you know, I'm such a weenie, but I always think in terms of like legacy style gameplay, because most of the Sims games that I play are like, you know, legacy challenges where I've got, you know, like 1 generation and then I kind of try and go on for 10 more, so I always have my grandparents still living in my household with me, and so I need to have space for them. I have a cat I imagine lives here, because I put in the bathroom, there's like a utility room sort of thing in the downstairs area. That downstairs bathroom also has laundry and a litter box in it, and I figured a cat lives here, and I put the litter box right next to the shower, and when I was doing it, I was like, oh god, this would suck in real life, right? Because your litter box is right next to the shower where you get out in of the shower, and you know your cat's kicking out litter from that place, and you're gonna get out of the shower and step on the ground and like with your wet feet step on dry litter that's been kicked out of the litter box. Nightmare. Complete nightmare. My parents had a litter box in my bathroom for a little bit when I was living at home, and every single time, no matter how much you sweep it, there's always just litter on the floor. and you got wet feet and you're stepping in it, so gross. But I kept the litter box next to the shower. Because in The Sims, like, you can't step on litter pieces in The Sims. It's fine. It's just, in real life, be a nightmare. Complete nightmare. I'm so sorry. I am so glad that I have a laundry room in my house now that I can keep the litter box in, because now I just, have litter all over the laundry room floor, not my bathroom floor. Because when it's your bathroom, it's like when you're clean and right out of the shower, the last thing you need is litter on your feet. Although, I will admit that I have sometimes, dropped clean clothes on the floor in the laundry room, and then, like, there's litter on the floor, and then it's just, but again, like, you sweep it as much as you want, and it doesn't make a difference. There's just always litter. Is this just my cat? There's just always litter around. Anyway, I love the bedrooms in this house. They were pretty cute. I figured there was, like, 2 boys that lived here. I think it turned out kind of sweet. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter, like, blue rooms, that doesn't mean anything. Anyone could live here, but, like, in my head, it was, like, a 7 and 8-year-old boy. I get too invested in my Sims relationships and lives. I'm like, I think out these stories for them, and I'm like, oh my god, the 7-year-old boy, and he loves art. It doesn't matter at all. It's just a random house. Like, no one actually lives here, but I was pretty pumped about it with my little story in my head when I was furnishing it, so at least there's that. But anyway, the house is on the gallery for you, the finished one, if you want to download it and play in it. And if you want the actual shell, same thing, it's on my gallery page. My origin ID is lilsimsie, super easy to find. And if you want to participate in the challenge, just upload it to the gallery with the hashtag #SimsieShell so that I can see it. If you want to put backstories for anything, please do. I love to read that stuff. I'm a real weenie, so backstories are definitely the move. And I'm excited to see your creative builds because I just cannot wait. You're all so much better at this than I am. I make generic suburban houses, you make crazy cool stuff, so looking forward to it. But on that note, we are finished now, finally, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut off right here, you guys. Make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all those fun YouTube things. And in case you guys didn't know, I'm posting videos every single day, and so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. I'm sorry for talking about litter on your feet. If you're all, like, eating while watching this, I really am sorry. But, like, and I'm still talking about it. My bad. Happy dinner time. Have a nice meal.